The ongoing Gaza conflict has raised the specter of a multi-front war for Israel. Last week, Yemen's Houthi rebels launched a drone attack on Tel Aviv, killing one person and declaring the area unsafe. This breach of security in Israel's financial capital prompted a strong response from the administration, which vowed retaliation. In response, Israel struck the Houthi-controlled port of Hodeidah in Yemen, reportedly killing 6 people and injuring dozens more. Iran has condemned Israel's airstrike on Hodeidah. Nasser Kanaani, spokesman for the Iranian Foreign Ministry, stated, "The strike by the Zionist regime against Yemen is undoubtedly an obvious violation to the United Nations Charter and regulations, Yemen's territorial integrity, and an attempt to escalate tensions in the region." The Houthi rebels have since threatened significant retaliation against Israel. The Yemeni armed forces confirm that the response to the Israeli aggression against our country is inevitably coming and will be huge and great, God willing. Israel is facing global criticism for the IDF's operations in Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains adamant about his decision to eliminate Hamas from the Gaza Strip. The United States has been a steadfast ally to Israel in the conflict, with President Biden's support drawing significant protests within the U.S. These protests have demanded an end to the arms supply to Israel. Amid this contentious relationship, Netanyahu is in Washington. As per reports, he will be addressing a joint session of Congress, becoming the only foreign leader to do so for a 4th time. This visit offers Netanyahu a chance to reset relations with Washington after months of tension over his hardline approach to the war. However, President Biden's decision not to seek re-election has cast a shadow over the visit, raising uncertainties about Israel's future relationship with the next U.S. administration. Despite these concerns, Netanyahu emphasized that Israel will remain the United States' strongest ally in the Middle East regardless of who is elected president in November. The State Department also spoke on Netanyahu's U.S. visit and the outcomes from it in the direction of a ceasefire.
I think you have to remember that when the president outlined that proposal publicly, it was a proposal that had been put forward by the government of Israel. It was Israel's proposal. We had obviously been involved in the development of that proposal as our role in one of the mediators to the negotiations, but it was ultimately an Israeli proposal. Negotiations are tough, and I think as the secretary said on Friday that sometimes the last 10 yards can be the hardest length to cover. But we have made important progress, and we continue to push to try and get it over the line.
Iran's foreign ministry has stated that the upcoming U.S. election holds no significance for Tehran unless there is a fundamental shift in Washington's policy towards Iran. Nasser Kanaani emphasized that the change of administrations in the U.S. does not matter unless it alters the hostile stance against the Islamic Republic. To us, the coming and going of governments and persons on the top of the U.S. administration is not important on its own. What matters is that the U.S., over the past decades, has adopted a hostile policy towards the Iranian nation. What can change the atmosphere of relations is a fundamental change in this hostile policy against the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Israeli military confirmed it struck several Houthi targets in western Yemen following a fatal drone attack on Tel Aviv. These strikes mark the first on Yemeni soil since the onset of the Israel-Hamas conflict in October and have the potential to open a new front in the region, intensifying Israel's battles with Iran's proxies.